Welcome to the Survivor to Thriver show with your happiness expert, Samia Bano. Do you feel stuck, silent, and stressed? Is something hurting your heart and soul? Are you burning yourself out? If so, you are in the right place because this is the podcast people from all over the world join in to learn exactly how to stop suffering and start living with inner peace and joy. Let's get started. I've been sharing with you how I have been living my own life meaning and purpose. The journey of me living my own life meaning and purpose. And where I left things off last episode was that, I'd graduated out of college, and it was super exciting because I had finally figured out what my life meaning and purpose was, and I even had an action plan, and I began to implement the action plan. High fives to me. Woohoo! Excellent. Right? Because, hey, how many people create plans and not take action on them? But I did. So that was one good thing that I did. Now, what happened is that as I started to take action on my plan, there was one part of my visions and goals and dreams that I'd come up with where I began to run into some hurdles. That part of the vision had to do with me creating a school that would become the platform through which I would teach and share with people what I had learned over the course of my own journey to healing, about how to stop suffering and how to live with more inner peace and joy in their lives. And I'd come up with a budget that at the minimum, I needed like $200,000 in order to establish and maintain my school. The problem that I ran into was that everyone that I went to talk to and asked for help and support in getting access to this $200,000 minimum that I needed, they said to me, Samia, you just don't have enough experience, enough credibility. You're like just too big of a risk for somebody to invest this kind of money in your vision because you've never held a job. You're not even working now, so it's not like you don't have an income. You don't even have an established credit history. I never even had opened a credit card by that point in time. At that point in time, it's like I didn't have anything I could put up as collateral for that kind of a loan. I didn't have anyone that I could think of that I would feel comfortable being a guarantor for me if somebody was to give me that kind of loan. So it was kind of like, okay, Samia, it's just too risky. You don't have the experience, you don't have the credibility, blah, blah, blah. And because those people that I was getting this feedback from, it wasn't just one person. I went to multiple sources, multiple people in different parts of my circle, including, by the way, the Small Business Administration offices, and they have counselors there, and They actually even have programs that can help you to get funding for your business ideas and projects. But in my case, even they were like, yes, I mean, this is just great. It would be too risky for any investor, any bank, any kind of, like certainly any kind of conventional lender. This project is just would be too risky for them. So it's not realistic. And what you need to do, or what we advise you to do, is to sort of cut down your dream, and just kind of start with something really small, or much smaller than what you're imagining right now anyway, and then build your way up. I was like, okay, well that sounds like very sensible advice. And it certainly was very true. Like when they said, Samia, you don't have this and you don't have that. It was true. I did not have this and I did not have that. And it was like, okay, so I need to go get this and I need to go get that. And then I can come back and be, in a different position. So I'm not so risky a prospect. And somebody will then be able to invest in my vision and my goal and my dream. And I can make it happen. And I adjusted my action timeline to be like on a 10-year plan. Now, the good news in this scenario was that I did, in fact, adjust my timeline. I did, in fact, adjust my action plan so that eventually I would be able to accomplish my vision, goals, and dreams. Like, I did not give up on my vision, goals, and dreams. This is a huge, huge win. You see, it would have been so easy to just have been like, oh, this is just not realistic. I've given it my best shot, talked to so many people, and they're all saying the same thing, and what they're saying is pragmatic, they're coming from a good place, they're well-wishers, and what they're saying is true. I don't have this, I don't have that. I could have easily got caught up in just like focusing on what I didn't have and on the problem, and become overwhelmed or disappointed or distressed or hopeless in the face of it and given up on my dream. But I didn't. So again, good job, Samia. Good job. But I told you last episode that while there were these good things that I did, there was also a big mistake that I made. And I'm going to tell you what that big mistake was today. But before I tell you what that big mistake was, I want to put things in a little bit of perspective and a little bit of context. Okay, so the perspective is, it's like our understanding of what a mistake is. See? And this is, I learned this definition of a mistake from one of my teachers. Actually, I cannot remember who I learned it from, but once I learned this definition of a mistake, I was like, makes absolute total sense. And this is the definition that I work with now for what is a mistake. Okay, so what is a mistake? A mistake is simply something that we did in the past that we wouldn't have done if we had known then what we know now. Let me say that again. A mistake is something that we did in the past that we wouldn't have done if we knew then what we know now. Right? So when you accept this definition of a mistake, you see, you realize, oh, there's no there's no need for blame and judgment, certainly in this context, because I was making the best decisions that I could with what I knew and what I had at the time. So really, I didn't really make any mistake. It's only a mistake because I'm identifying it as such now, looking back, with the knowledge that I have now that I didn't have then. You see, so actually this is an examination of what was going on at that time from a place of higher wisdom. You see, so it's higher level analysis. And so pay attention to this, guys, because look, you can learn from my mistake or my realization of the mistake, my analysis from this place of higher wisdom, so that you don't have to make this mistake yourself. Just learn from my wisdom, okay? Wow, because this insight has the potential to change our lives. It really does. Okay, so what's the insight? Okay, so let me go back to what the problem was, that as it had been framed at that time, and I had accepted that framing. Okay, so it was basically, I said, my idea was I needed $200,000 in order to implement my vision for the school, and for me to acquire that $200,000, I was told that I didn't have ABC and XYZ, and that's why it was going to be too risky, and no one was willing to give me that kind of money. Right? Okay, so it's like, okay, in essence, basically, the problem was Samia did not know enough, Samia did not have enough. Okay, so if the problem is Samia did not know enough and Samia did not have enough, the obvious solution that I came to accept and that was suggested to me by my advisors was, Samia, go get enough and grow to be enough. They grow stronger, grow wiser, grow whatever, grow more experienced, grow more credible. So it's like right now you don't have enough, you don't know enough. So go get more of what you don't have. Learn what you don't know. But okay, where's all the focus? The focus is all on me, right? Me as an individual. What I don't have and what I don't know. And the solution was also focused on what? Me. What I have to learn and what I have to acquire. Now, the question isn't, can I acquire this or can I not? The question was basically a matter of time, right? It was like, okay, I'll just need 5 to 10 years to acquire all that I don't have and all that I don't know right now. Okay, now, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that from one perspective, but from another perspective, it's like if you shift your perspective from just me, if you change the way that we're looking at the problem, and we look from a different perspective about potential solutions, couldn't we have come up with even better solutions? I'm telling you that yes, we could have. But at that time, I was lacking the wisdom and the experience to be able to ask the better questions and to examine things from this kind of very different perspective that I'm going to share with you now. What is this different perspective? It goes back to remembering and staying grounded in the knowing of one of the most fundamental facts of what is true about our world, about our universe, about our lives, about our very existence. What is that fact? I think it's a fact, by the way. There's some people that might disagree with that. But for me, even at that point in my life, I accepted this idea as a fact. What idea? I'm talking about the idea that all is one, that we are all parts of an interconnected, interdependent whole. Think from this perspective, guys. Can you begin to see the mistake that we could have avoided if we had stayed grounded in this knowing of, hey, Samya is not just an individual. She's not just an isolated being that exists. Samya is just one part of a whole where every part is interconnected and interdependent, meaning that Samya is not alone. Samya is not on her own. Samya is interconnected and interdependent with everything that exists. With everything that exists, not only on this planet, but everything in this universe. Everything that exists. I'm already interconnected and interdependent with everything that exists. Okay, so if I stay grounded in this knowing, can you see the problem with the way we were analyzing, the way I was analyzing my problem and its potential solutions? Where was all the focus? Where was all my focus at that point? It was all on me, what I didn't have and what I didn't know. But look, just because I, as an individual, was missing that knowledge or missing that stuff that was needed, the materials that were needed, that didn't mean that that knowledge and that those materials, those resources were missing from the world. No, they were not. All of that knowledge and all of those resources are existing in the world right now, and they were at that time too. Right? And guess what? I was connected to all those resources and all that knowing. And I'm still connected to all those resources and all of that knowing, even now. So if I stay grounded in this realization, in this knowing that I'm connected to all the abundance of the universe, to all the knowledge of the universe, because I am interconnected and interdependent with everything that exists. Why do I need 10 years to, realize my vision? It's like, what are the different ways? What are the different alternatives that I have through which I can access the knowledge and the resources that I need to make the vision of my school come true right now? See, that's a very, very different question. How can I use the connections that I have to access that knowledge, to access that those resources now, and get them to work with me, for the sake of my vision. It's like collaboration. I don't have to know everything. I don't have to have everything. I'll never know everything. I'll never have everything that may be needed to do what I want to do. But why should I have to know everything? Why should I have to have everything? It's just ridiculous. Really, if you think about it, it's quite ridiculous. It's like we're setting ourselves up for a really difficult path forward. It's like there's always multiple ways you can accomplish any goal, and if I choose the path where I personally have to acquire all the knowledge and the resources that are needed to build my school, I'm choosing one of the most difficult paths possible for how I can get to that goal. Am I not? I certainly am. Right? Okay. So what's the solution? Well, exactly, right? Okay, so don't just depend on yourself. When you're struggling with a problem, don't just think about what can I do? What am I capable of? Expand your thinking to who can help me? Who can support me? How can I get help and support to make to solve this problem in the most quick and efficient ways possible, to solve it as quickly as possible, as easily as possible, and in a way that I'm not having to struggle on my own. My gosh. What can you do? What can I do? See? So this is a very, very important realization and a shift in perspective. And my gosh, guys, give this a try. Implement this in your life with regards to any problem that you are experiencing right now, and see what a difference it makes. All right, I'm actually going to share with you how I've been applying this shift in perspective and this insight in my life right now, and what results I've been seeing, but we will do that next time. So in the meanwhile, again, I just want to give you a reminder, if you are in fact struggling with this this kind of a problem in your life, please don't struggle with it alone. And you know that I'm someone that you can reach out to for help and support. Okay, so you know how to also do that, right? Just go to my website at www.academyofthriving.com, click on the Contact Us tab, and then from the Contact Us page, you will see how you can connect with me. So I look forward to hearing from you. And until we connect next time, I wish you lots of peace and joy.